Congressman Phillips, thanks for taking the time tonight. First of all, I'm assuming you're safe, your staff is safe. Tell us about your situation at the moment.
Thank you, Tom. Yes, we are safe. Quite frankly, I think a miracle that there was not more bloodshed or injury in light of the horrors that we just witnessed, and so many who are now listening heard, or so many that were watching television saw. But we are safe.
Right.
We're in a secure area, sheltering. And most importantly, we are anticipating a return to the House floor, hopefully in the next hour or so, to complete our duty, which continues to be our priority and obligation.
Tell me more about that. What are you hearing about how that can begin? Obviously, the Capitol would have to be secure. So tell us about that effort and what you're hearing about the resumption of the Electoral College tally.
So, Tom, the Capitol does have to be secured. As you surely know, that is occurring right now. It has to be swept. There were some indications devices may have been left, God forbid. And we have to get back in. Everybody who took this oath to office did so knowing that the Constitution is more important than any of us as individuals. And that even means our safety and security sometimes. And this is one of those days that we are very cognizant of that responsibility. We have to go back and finish this. In fact, those who broke into the Capitol today did so to disrupt one of the most sacred and important responsibilities of those of us in Congress, and that is to certify our presidential election. It is incumbent on us to finish it, despite what we've witnessed, what we're feeling, and we intend to do so, no matter how long it takes and no matter how difficult it may be to accomplish.
I want to ask you about reports that I'm seeing on social media that earlier today on the House floor that you yelled at Republicans, "This is because of you." So first I want to confirm that you said that, and what was going through your mind? Why did you say that?
I did say that, Tom, and quite frankly, those who have followed my career, who know me, know that I do my very best to be a voice of reason, to pursue common sense, find common ground, build friendships with people of all political perspectives. That is me. That's what I'll continue to do. But I would be lying if I didn't say that the last 4 years have, unfortunately, seen a Congress filled with many who lack courage, who have enabled a president who will surely now go down in history as the most destructive to our nation, to our Constitution. And as we heard that people were storming the Capitol and we were to take cover and put on our gas masks, in that moment I expressed what I think so many in our country are feeling. And that's exactly what I said. And that was a moment, of course, that I didn't anticipate. But I feel strongly about it, and I also feel equally strongly, Tom, about waking up tomorrow morning and starting the arduous work of rebuilding bridges, repairing our country, and reestablishing the foundations of our democracy. And I will do so with Republicans. But am I disappointed with many who have enabled this behavior and brought us to this day? Because it's been brewing for 4 years. And we all know that. Yes, indeed, they have.
So tell me a bit more about that. I want to hear, as someone who in the Problem Solvers Caucus is in regular contact across the aisle, what kind of reaction did you get from Republicans to that, and also to the efforts? Do you think that what's happened today might change some of the efforts of challenging the Electoral College votes and delaying this process in certain states? What are you hearing?
Well, Tom, I still believe in principle. I still believe there are Republicans in this institution of principle, and we will see here probably within the next couple hours if they will place principle above self-preservation, at least self-preservation relative to their political careers. I've spoken with a number of my colleagues on the Problem Solvers Caucus today, Tom, after the events, and we're horrified. And I should say we're horrified, but no more so than every single American probably is right now when they see the images from our nation's capital. And I do think today has changed some. Those that have been quiet, those that have not raised their voices in objection to what they know in their hearts and in their minds is wrong. I do think here in the next 24 hours we might see more raise their voices and speak some truth to power, even if it only is for 14 more days.
I want to ask about what some of your colleagues, one a Democrat, I should say, from Massachusetts, Congressman Moulton, saying that perhaps this is evidence of the president's mental unfitness and the 25th Amendment might be invoked here. Also, Ilhan Omar, your colleague from Minnesota, says she is writing articles of impeachment over this. Do you see either of those efforts possible in these 14 days between now and Inauguration Day?
Yes. And first and foremost, Tom, we have got to fulfill our first priority, our first order of business, is to affirm the election. We had gone through just a few states when the horrors occurred. We must complete that first and then turn our attention to the enabler. And is he impeachable? Time will tell. I can tell you one thing: for the first time in 4 years, over the course of the last many hours where I've been sitting in a small room with many of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, many Republican colleagues have acknowledged, as late in the game as it is, that it may now be required. And time will tell. I don't want to prognosticate, but it is surely a possibility.
Would you support such an effort?
Frankly, should have been done a long time ago.
And so in which case, either let's talk about the 25th Amendment here, invoking that, or are you talking about articles of impeachment in the next 14 days?
I'm talking about impeachment. The cabinet, they are entrusted with invoking the 25th. And do I see that happening at this stage? No, I do not. I do believe our founders anticipated a president like this one, Tom. They did not anticipate a Congress filled with so many who lack courage. But I do hope that the experience of this day, which has left an indelible mark on all of us, might inspire the better angels amongst us, particularly on the other side of the aisle, for me to join hands in reestablishing the standards of an American president who has brought great shame, great stains, and great horrors to the most extraordinary temple of democracy in the world. We've got a lot of hard work ahead. I will be focusing on that with my colleagues as much as I can over the coming days.
Finally, I hear the emotion in your voice, and I imagine you're not alone there. Tell me what this has been like today to experience this from inside the Capitol.
Well, Tom, I can tell you that I looked outside the window with one of my colleagues moments before the alarms went off, and we saw the thousands and thousands of people outside, and we just saw maybe a couple dozen Capitol Police officers trying to restrain them, and we could tell it was going to get difficult. But the moment that the Capitol Police stopped our proceedings, told us to take cover and put on our gas masks, I have to say my first reaction was that it must be impossible. This is America, and I'm sitting in the U.S. House of Representatives chamber, for goodness gracious. But it was real, and they did come in, and shots were fired, and now we have to move on. We have to wake up tomorrow when the sun rises, acknowledge what has brought us to this day, and recover and repair, and we will. I want everybody listening to know that we will. This is a dark day in history, but tomorrow can be a beginning, and I want to start looking forward, not backwards, because we're going to need a lot of people to join us. And as I just tweeted, Congress cannot do this alone. We need Americans to do so with us and inspire us and join hands together. And that will be incumbent on every single one of us.
Not to belabor the point, but on behalf of our listeners, I just want to clarify when I mentioned that Ilhan Omar is drawing up articles of impeachment concerning this for the president, and you said that you would not be surprised to see that effort and might even support it. We're talking about another effort at impeachment, not because you've already had one a year ago.
You know, Tom, I don't want to stoke more division and more speculation. I simply want to acknowledge that I believe the president should be held to account for what he has inspired over 4 years. It came to a crescendo today in ways that even his most ardent followers probably are horrified by. And I hope every American, no matter your politics, recognize how dangerous it is when we shut off our ears when we close our eyes and, most importantly, turn off our minds to the truth. And we'll have those discussions tomorrow. It will have to be bipartisan if we proceed. Contingent on that, first and foremost, our main order of business that I hope it looks like we might be getting to here, but actually quite shortly, is to affirm this election, swear Joe Biden in on January 20th, and then begin hopefully a new dawn in America.
Quite shortly, I hear a bell there, and I know there are bells to call you into to vote or into the chamber. Is that what I just heard, or was it another sort of alert?
Tom, I don't know for sure. We are surrounded by just countless officers and security personnel, and I'm looking through I'm sitting in an old vintage phone booth, a remnant from the old days here in Congress, and it looks like there is some activity, and it looks like I do have to run here, actually, so I'm going to have to leave you,
right.
But I hope that's a good sign that we'll be reconvening soon, and to everybody listening, keep the faith, stick together, and let's show the world what we are all about. It's going to take all of us.
Congressman Dean Phillips, a DFLer representing Minnesota's 3rd Congressional District, I wish you a safe evening, and thank you so much for your time and perspective on this tumultuous day.
Thank you, Tom. Godspeed, everybody.
Take care, sir.